Hey, this is Mike Addis. Thanks for joining me. It's always a pleasure bringing these videos. So today we're going to talk about why debt is good. Now this is contrary to a lot of things you hear on YouTube. So stay to the end of the video, okay? Because I'm going to recap this thing. All the good stuff comes to the end. And I'm not picking on Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is the debt guru. He talks about how to get out of debt and all that kind of stuff. I think he's talking mostly about how to don't let debt grab a hold of you and take over your life. Because that's one of the biggest problems in the country. There's billions and billions. Here's the problem with that thinking. Well, there's not really a problem with it, but there is if you just follow my line of reasoning here. The way you make millions of dollars is by using debt. That's different than what Dave says. No, yeah, well, I'm not exactly sure what the heck Dave is saying, because he does say a few things that, to me, it doesn't make any sense. The other day he said there's a mass exodus out of California. There is not a mass exodus out of California. It's totally, completely false. Why does he say that? Because he probably doesn't like California. I don't know. I mean, he's living in Tennessee. Maybe he's a Republican and he hates left-wing liberal democratic states. I'm relatively conservative and I live in a liberal state. Why? Because I want to be near the ocean and beautiful weather all the time. I want to be able to take my children out. I want to have 325 days a year of sunshine. I don't live here because I like the government. I'm getting taxed to death. Let's get back to debt. Number one of the biggest income producing things for me over the last 35, 40 years has been the ownership of real estate and publicly traded companies. I use debt, massive amounts of debt, to buy and sell real estate, for example, and I turn it into cash. I already told you how to do all that stuff with the simultaneous close. So as I told you in the simultaneous close real estate video, I bought $400,000 worth of property for $40,000 down. So that means I got 90% debt and only 10% equity. Then I turn around and sold the property for $500,000. So I used debt for like maybe a couple of hours. Does that make sense? I'm not talking about credit card debt. I have credit cards. I don't even use them. Why do I have credit cards? I don't know. I just got the credit cards like I don't need credit. I don't even use my credit. Corporation gets all the credit it needs because it developed the corporation. So why do they tell you not to use debt? Because that's what they're selling. That's their spiel. That's Dave Ramsey's whole MO. He created this whole persona out of how you can get out of your debt. So you have all these people that don't know how to handle their debt, and they buy stuff they really don't need because credit is relatively easy to get. You start off with good credit, and then you end up turning it into crap. I've done that before. I had 10 credit cards at one time. I didn't know how to use the debt. So what's the point of the video? The point of the video is, number one, use debt to make millions of dollars. Number one, that's what I've done. I have used debt to make millions of dollars, okay? Number one. Number two, you can apply debt to real estate, for example. So the real estate debt ratio, in some cases I put $0 down, but let's say you put 5 to 10% down. On a piece of real estate, that means you're getting a loan of 90 to 95%. Then you buy that property and you can lease it out to somebody, or you can just sell it right away. I usually sold my properties right away. I only have like 7 or 8 properties right now, but I'll probably end up with 20 over the next 24 months total. So that's how I use debt. Number three, you can use debt, big debt. You can leverage it 100%. So if you put up 100, you can get another 100,000 if you use interactive brokers. I'm not pushing interactive brokers, but that's the brokerage I use. And they only charge you like 0.75%. So they charge you 1%. So if I buy 10,000 in Apple stock, and then they give me another 10,000. So now I got 20,000. Actually, they give me 2.3 or 2.4, so they give me over 100% leverage, and they're not even charging me 1 point. I make 10 to 20 to 30% on my portfolio, so I'm loaning and could loan tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars if I wanted to. So that's all debt. So it doesn't make any sense not to use debt. You have to know how to use it. And then you want to eliminate debt that you don't need. So number four, elimination of debt you don't need. What is debt you don't need? Things that you're buying that don't produce income. The only thing I buy that I need is I pay cash for it. So the whole purpose of this video is to tell you this. Be careful who you listen to on YouTube. Okay? These guys are promoting their shows they're making a lot of money off promoting whatever they're promoting. Grant Cardone, for example, is promoting to invest in Cardone Capital or to buy his programs. That's really what they're doing out there. Now, are they intentionally trying to screw your head up? I'm going to say they're not intentionally, but they could be. Who the hell knows what they're thinking? But you have to use your own brain. Think for yourself. Don't just listen to these guys out there, including me, and make decisions based on what they're saying, because it may or may not be true in your particular case. You can't generalize that real estate is the same everywhere in the country. Like I said before, there's like 47,000 zip codes. And then within the zip code that I live in, 92011, there's like 10 real estate markets, so you can't generalize what's going on in Tennessee and California. Okay, let's recap on why debt is good. First of all, you can't buy $1 million property or a $500,000 property or a $300,000 or $400,000 or $200,000, $150,000 property unless you have that much money in cash. How many people have $1 million in cash or even $100,000 in cash, number one? So you have to use debt to buy real estate. And you could also use it to buy stocks. That's number one. Number two, without the debt, you can't buy the asset, but you can sell the asset, in this case real estate, or it could be stocks or whatever. You could just turn around and resell them and get out of the debt right away. Number two. Number three, when you buy real estate, for example, you're leveraging at 9-to-1. So I'm putting up $10 for every $9 I get. So $1 million property, I put up $100,000 and I get $900,000 debt. I can turn around and sell the property in my neighborhood, and I would have made $200,000 or $300,000 on my bet if I put up the money 6 to 8 months ago. That's how much it's increased in value. And number four, don't believe what people tell you about you can't use debt to make money. They're just trying to sell you on the fact that you shouldn't have credit card debt and debt that you don't need for things that don't create income. It's Mike Addis. Thanks for joining me on this video. Don't forget to comment. See you on the next video.